This is News at Prime. Let's pick up on this conversation now. A new normal in the fight against crime has been introduced in Gauteng. The private surveillance services company, it's called Vumacam, has partnered with the provincial government to provide real-time intelligence to law enforcement agencies through its network of 6,000 cameras which are installed in the Gauteng area. The initiative brings to life the vision of Premier Panyaza Lesufi's efforts to fight crime and lawlessness using technology. Let's find out more now about this partnership, and we're joined by the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in Gauteng, that's Khumalo. Also alongside him is Michael Varney, the Chief Commercial Officer at Vumacam. To both of you, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Can I begin with you, Michael, and ask the question as to whether the 6,000 network of cameras is going to cover the entire Gauteng area adequately?
Thank you so much, and good evening to your viewers. Vumacam has spent the last 5.5 years densifying a network across Gauteng. We originally kicked off in the city of Johannesburg and have slowly moved into the city of Ekurhuleni, city of Mogale, and have launched at the end of last year in the city of Tshwane. And it is our intention to densify a network throughout Gauteng, specifically for the Gauteng provincial government. And we'll be working with the provincial government to understand what hotspots and what other areas need densification. You know, we know that TISH areas, which stands for townships, informal settlements and hostels, is one of their main focus areas. And together we will be identifying the areas in which we need to roll out next.
Yeah. MEC, let's bring you into the conversation. You've heard Michael, he talks about townships and informal settlements. The question I'd like to ask of you is, where are your major crime hotspots in Gauteng? And are you confident that Vumacam's surveillance reach is going to cover these areas adequately?
Thank you very much, Polly. Good evening to yourself and to your viewers. Firstly, we think that the infrastructure that the Vumacam has proven over a period of time that it is able to mitigate against crime, particularly in CBD areas or areas of economic activities within our province as such. And given that kind of a success story, we, working together with the Department of Community Safety, furthermore identified a number of hotspots, particularly in the black townships. And that is where this partnership, amongst others, whilst it's going to give us access to the existing infrastructure that is in our major town areas, CBD areas, economic activities, and so on, we will be able to roll it out to those identified hotspots. And those identified hotspots are particularly found in black areas such as black townships, such as Tembisa, such as Diepsloot, such as Soweto as it is, Sidibeng areas, Mfuleni, and all of those kind of areas, Kagiso, Mohlakeng, in the West Rand, Tshwane itself, Mamelodi, and those areas. Those are areas that we have gotten scientific information from the Department of Community Service, where a whole lot of crime is taking place, and we'll be installing those in those areas.
Michael, can I quickly ask you this question? How speedily can you spread your network into the townships, as you have heard? Township areas, informal settlements, because these clearly from the MEC are coming out as major hotspots.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, we've been doing this for the last, as I said, 5.5 years, and we follow a very stringent process in terms of following the law, applying for way leaves, ensuring that our infrastructure is not going to cause any havoc with existing services that may, for example, already be in the ground. The wayleave process is often a bit of a hurdle that we need to overcome, but I mean, once we've got the wayleave approval, we can get infrastructure into the ground within about 10 working days. We have, in the last sort of 12 months, spent in excess of 60 million rand lighting up previously underprotected areas, such as in Gauteng. We started with Soweto and Alexandra, and we've got a whole rollout in conjunction with the province. And so, for instance, we've got 50 schools within Soweto and Alexandra that we have used as basis for us to put our infrastructure up. So in short, the answer is that we can get the infrastructure up relatively quickly.
MEC, are you satisfied with that response? Because, might I remind you, this is an election year, and some people are going to be asking the question, if this Vumacam network, surveillance cam, is not in the townships yet, they might be questioning whether or not it was well thought through to begin with.
No, in the first place, as indicated, we are fully aware that part of their infrastructure, you find it in Soweto. It therefore covers one of our areas of focus, which is in Black Township. So to that extent, we are satisfied. May I also indicate that as the department, and remember I'm here as a head of, as a MEC for Department of eGov, which is given a mandate to deal with the issues of this particular nature. Let me indicate that we have 144 cameras ourselves that we have already rolled out in these townships. We call them TISH, which is township, hostels, and informal settlements. So if you go to areas of Mansonville, the areas of Kutsong, Kagiso, Mohlakeng, Katlehong, Tembisa, Binoni, Ratanda, Sharpeville, Sebokeng, Boipatong, Mamelodi East, and Diepsloot, where there's a high level of crime, and in the city of Johannesburg, in particular in the small street. We have already put up some of the cameras there, and we have a better sense as to how long does it take to roll out such cameras. The second point that I need to emphasize that, yes, we acknowledge this is the year of election, but for us, this is not an electioneering instrument, but it's an instrument intended to deal with the crime. Remember, Premier has pronounced that one of the apex or priority areas that we must focus on is to deal with crime if we want the economy of the province to work, if we want investment to be crowded in the province as such. So we have a better sense. And on some of the challenges they have, we are having a discussion with them on issues of the way live. That's where COPTA comes in, because that's where local municipalities are involved in approving such processes. And we think that with the partnership that is in place, we will be able to overcome those challenges quite easily.
Michael, let's come back to you. You are promising actionable intelligence that is delivered in real time. So I'm going to ask you a very easy question, I should think, and that's for you to give us a crime in progress scenario and how the synergy between Vumacam and presumably the police would unfold in that situation.
So, Vumacam's integrated platform ensures that alerts that are received through our network as a result of the artificial intelligence that is placed over the cameras, it means that we are dealing with alerts that are specific to the standard operating procedures that may need to be applied. The verified alert is then sent through from the platform to, in this instance, the Gauteng Provincial Government's Control Center. They'll be able to decide how to either escalate the alert, dispatch the necessary emergency response vehicles, and we are then able to track and close out the loop on that specific incident as and when it happens. The importance of being able to have the situational awareness of a public space network allows the emergency responders to know exactly how to respond. Do they need to send one vehicle? Do they need to send multiple vehicles? Fire vehicles or ambulances required, etc. And so the situational awareness that the platform provides is second to none.
MEC, let's conclude with you. The viewers are going to want to know how much has this public-private partnership cost the provincial government?
Well, the first thing that we want to indicate is that this public-private partnership is based on the business model of which the operational framework was established, working together with Vumacam, that emphasizes the public-private partnership model within itself. And under this model, we will capitalize not only on the VOMA, but also on the other existing technologies of fighting crime. In this regard, we are further engaging with SANRAL and we are creating a collaboration, and we are going to also use some of their existing technologies that are there. We have a partnership that will run for a period of 24 months, which would cost the provincial government around 79 million rands.
79 million rand. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and fingers crossed that crime is going to be reduced in Gauteng with the help of technology. And that was the MEC for e-government. That's the capacity he is speaking to us on. That's Khumalo. Alongside him is Varney, the Chief Commercial Officer at Vumacam.